guys, Alex here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's vlog, I will be sharing with you 4 tips on how to find the right property in the Philippines. We will be discussing specific questions that you should be asking as a buyer. How do I screen a developer? How do I make sure I choose the right agent? What are the different types of financing available? And what are the different features that I should be looking for, like the property size, budget, location, and availability. So first, narrow down where you want to invest in. The first thing to consider in buying a property is to choose where you would like to invest in. Do you already have a specific area or subdivision in mind? Let's say you want to invest in Cagayan de Oro, but where exactly in CDO? Narrow down which areas you would like to invest in, or perhaps you may already have a specific subdivision that you're considering. For instance, would you like to buy a property in the uptown area or the downtown area? Identifying your preferred location is the starting point of your real estate investment journey. Second, choose a great real estate agent. Once you have a general area in mind, the second step is to find a licensed agent to work with. Real estate is hyper-local, meaning the real estate market in each city is different. So agents who are based in that particular city are more knowledgeable of the real estate market there, unless they belong to a realty that has expanded to other cities as well. So then they would also have data on the real estate market of those cities as well. Our realty, Truly Wealthy Realty, is based in Cagayan de Oro. So our headquarters, our HQ is here, but we just recently expanded to other key cities in Vismin, such as Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, Bohol, and Bacolod, and even Palawan. And so we are starting to learn about the real estate market in these cities as well. I noticed that a lot of buyers don't really take finding an agent seriously. And I say this because sometimes they just ask their relatives or their friends or try to do it on their own. Buying real estate is not as simple as it seems because there is a lot of skill involved in making sure that the whole process goes smoothly. There are a lot of things to consider, such as the price point. Is this property priced right, or is it too high? Is it a good deal? What are the taxes and fees that I will need to pay upon closing? How do I do due diligence? And all these other things. A highly skilled broker or an agent can give you good advice on all these things and guide you throughout the entire process. So it's like choosing a doctor. You wouldn't want someone who is not certified to practice medicine to be checking up on you or giving you medications or even operating on you, right? You would want the best. You would want the most highly skilled doctor who has had years and years of experience. And in choosing your agent, you will want to have the same standards. Check if your agent is licensed to practice real estate because, believe it or not, there are still a lot of unlicensed individuals who are practicing real estate. The easiest way to check is to ask for their PRC ID or talk to their accredited broker to confirm this. The next, ask how many years they've been practicing and if they're doing it full-time. Full-time agents accumulate skills and experience much faster than part-time agents. Of course, I'm not looking down on the part-time agents. This is just a fact. Like, the more time you spend doing something, the faster you become in becoming skilled at this particular thing. And also, the fact that they're able to do it full-time means that they are successful enough to do so. Of course, there's nothing wrong with hiring your cousin or your close friend as your agent, as long as they have both the license to practice and the expertise to help you out. But if not, I suggest hiring someone who does. You want to make sure that your agent is skilled and knowledgeable enough to guide you competently throughout the entire process and will still be there years from now when you need them, because they actually treat this as a career and not as a sideline. After all, real estate is a long-term investment. Third, specify what your requirements are. What is your preferred lot area, floor area? How many bedrooms do you want to have? What's your maximum budget? So I really don't believe it when buyers tell me that I don't have a budget. Everybody has a ceiling. Like, what if I offered you 100 million house, 200 million? Like, would you take it? So everybody has a cap. So check also the financing options available. Is it going to be cash, bank financing, deferred cash? When do you need to use the property? So this is something that you should consider as well. If it's bank financing, how much cash do you have in hand for the down payment? Of course, I show them the difference between ready for occupancy and pre-selling properties as well. The first meeting I have with the client is more to know what their requirements are so that I can recommend the properties that fit these requirements. I actually have a buyer's guide that I use to guide my clients throughout the entire buying process. Let me know if you want a copy so I can email you a copy. Once I know what their requirements are, I give them a compilation of the listings that match their requirements. I also send them other videos that will give them an idea of the real estate market prices in CDO so they will be able to set their expectations. Being very specific can be a challenge, especially if you don't know the market yet. So giving a compilation of the inventory available is one great way for buyers to familiarize themselves with what's in the market. And then I also talk about financing. What are the different types of financing available? I make sure to explain each type of financing thoroughly so that buyers can really choose the one that suits them best. I actually have a separate video on the different types of financing for real estate. I'll link the video up here so you can check that out. Some buyers have the misconception that you can loan the entire amount at the bank. You can't. You cannot do that. You need to pay equity. So equity is basically the difference between the total contract price and the loanable amount. So the loanable amount is 80% of the property's appraised value. So if you're going to be buying a private property, you will need to prepare 30 to 40% of the total contract price of the property, because aside from equity, there are also taxes and fees that need to be paid. I actually have a video on all taxes and fees that need to be paid upon buying a property. I'll link it up here and also put it in the description box below in case you want to check that out. If the client does not have a bulk amount of cash on hand to pay for the equity, then I recommend pre-selling properties because you do not need to put up a huge amount up front. You will only need to pay a minimal amount called the reservation fee, which is usually around 20,000 to 100,000. So usually 20 to 50,000 yung standard sa mga developers. And then there are developers who ask for a higher amount of reservation fee na 100,000 or 150,000 depending on the project. But most developers just ask for between 20 to 50,000 range. And then I talk about turnover. There are two general types of real estate: pre-selling and RFO units. Ready for occupancy units are already finished, ready to move in. So some RFO units are even furnished. So if you need to be able to use the unit immediately, then best to go for a ready for occupancy unit. However, if you don't mind waiting and would prefer to pay for the unit in installment, then go for a pre-selling property. You will only need to pay a minimal amount called the reservation fee to reserve the unit, and then the rest of the equity can be paid in installment. Pre-selling units are still for construction, and turnover will depend on the developer's construction schedule and at what stage of development you made the reservation. It can range from under 12 months to 50 months or even more. And then fourth, check who the developers are. Who the developer is critical to how well a project will turn out. The project concept might be amazing, but if the developer cannot execute well, then your investment will be in trouble. How do you screen developers? So first, check their history. How long have they been in the business? How many projects do they have under their belt? And how many projects have they successfully turned over? Who are the people leading the company? What experience do they have? Do their leaders have in real estate development? Ask for feedback from buyers who have bought from these developers and who have bought these projects. What's it like living in these developer subdivisions or condominiums? Of course, it would be harder to screen new developers, especially if it's their first project, so you can screen the owners, the founders instead. Check if they have prior experience in real estate development. There's always a degree of risk in investing in new developers, so make sure to ask the right questions. So again, the 4 tips in buying a property are: first, narrow down where you want to invest in. Choosing your preferred location is the first step of your real estate journey. Second, get an awesome real estate broker to advise you and assist you in the entire process. Third, specify what your requirements are. A great agent can recommend you the best listings that match your requirements, help you through the process, and give you tips on what to look out for. Next is screen who the developers are. A project with a great concept will be great with a developer who knows how to execute. And that's it for today's vlog. If you have additional questions, let me know in the comment section. If you want to be updated of the newest projects and real estate updates in Vismin, send me an email so I can add you to my mailing list.